Hello and welcome to the SEGA Nerdcast, episode 70. I'm Chris, the editor of SEGA Nerds, and with me today, returning once again to the podcast, he is not dead. He has beaten Ebola. It's Graham Cookson. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, dude. Yeah, hi, guys. Sorry. Hello.
We were very, very worried about you last week, Graham.
Yeah,
We
I'm sure
thought
you were.
we might have lost you.
Yeah, I was genuinely ill. Like, because I've been away for 2 weeks. The first weekend, the Saturday, I literally spent about maybe 3 hours awake for that whole day. I was passed out the rest of the day. I had like a massive fever and stuff, and I was like shaking and stuff. It was horrible. But yeah, and I'm sort of generally back. But I'm actually still ill. I didn't tell you this. I'm still ill. Yeah.
Jeez, what is going on with you?
Okay, I seem to have had like 3 things at once, but I seem to have some sort of weird flu thing. And do you remember I had labyrinthitis like a year or two ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you go really dizzy and stuff. Apparently that's back as well, but I had it all at once. And then like my doctor sort of gave me some tests, and she went, "Boy, we've got labyrinthitis. Go and have some drugs." And I was like, okay. And I've got going for blood tests and stuff, but I'm still not 100%. Like I keep getting like slightly dizzy, and yeah, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, but otherwise, you know.
Otherwise, you're doing great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And also my ankle really hurts, and so does my knee.
I do remember you complaining a lot about your ankle when we were walking around
Yeah.
London.
Damn it, yeah. Yeah, not just my ankle, it's my foot as well, which is also not still great. Basically, I'm dying.
You were just falling apart, like little
Pretty
bit,
much.
little. Yeah.
Falling apart piece by piece. Yeah, but otherwise, good. How you doing?
Not too bad. I have not had any feet problems this week, like
Good.
you have. So we had our twins' birthday party this past weekend. It was a lot of fun. We ended up buying them a 2DS each. There was a really good deal at Walmart where you could get a 2DS for like $89 or something like that.
Wow.
And they were always playing my 3DS, and they're always just like leaving it around and not taking very good care of it.
Yeah.
And so they're always they always get grounded from it and everything. And they really wanted one of their own, so we ended up getting them a 2DS. And so they both wanted me to download the YouTube app on their 2DS because Isabel, she loves looking at like fingernail, like nail polish tutorials and girls just putting on makeup. It's the
Wow.
weirdest thing ever. So there's this thing called Monster High. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like a cartoon. And
I think I've heard of it, yeah.
and yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's all these monsters that go to high school or something, and Isabel loves them. And there's this little girl on YouTube who does makeup tutorials on how to like put on makeup and make yourself look like these characters.
Cool.
And Isabel can sit there and watch her do this all day long, and it's ridiculous. And this girl has like millions and millions of views on YouTube. It's insane. And so Isabel loves watching that stuff, and Christopher loves watching Halo Mega Block videos. He will watch kids just play with Halo Mega Blocks all day long. It's crazy. So anyway, that's one of the first things they wanted me to do. Like they didn't even really care about. I got Christopher Super Smash Brothers, and Isabel some like a pets game, and so Isabel wanted me to set up her 2DS and download the YouTube app. So I started going through the process of creating her an account. Like a Nintendo ID and everything, and then it gets to the point where it shows like you have to input the birth date, and at that point I was like almost thinking like maybe I should just lie and just say she's over 21 and not bother with it. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and go through this whole thing and do it the right way. And so I put in her correct birthday. And it was the worst mistake ever, because it is the worst process of setting up minors like a Nintendo ID and getting them online, because you've got to go through like page after page after page of agreeing to all these different agreements, putting in birth dates, putting in I've seriously put in my email address at least 6 times on different things. And in the end, I thought I finally got it done, And at the very end, they're like, okay, the last thing, you have to put in your credit card information. We're going to charge your account 50 cents to make sure that it's actually your account. So in the end, I had to pay 50 cents just to get her online and download the fucking YouTube app. And then when I finally did that, then I go in to download the YouTube app, and then it makes me put in my zip code, because it says it wants to calculate the sales tax that it's going to charge me on an app that costs nothing. It's a completely free app. Then they want to calculate the sales tax on it. It's just so fucking ridiculous, like what you have to go through to do this. I was at the end. I was like, oh god, I don't want to do this again. And sure enough, Christopher comes up after I finally get done. It took about 15 minutes to go through the whole thing. It was just so ludicrous. And Christopher came up. He's like, Dad, can you do mine? And I was like, oh man. And I just put his birthday to where he's like 24 or something like that. Nice. I didn't want to deal with it. But then I went back and like set some parental settings on it. But it was, oh god, it was the worst. Like Nintendo, like it's crazy. You don't like there's got to be a way. And I get the fact that they want to protect minors. I like that. I like that about them, because as a parent, when I give my kid a Nintendo system, I feel like a sense of safety about it. Like I know that they're not going to see improper content, and Nintendo's going to do their very best to make sure they don't do that. I do appreciate that. But at the same time, there is a way to streamline that to where it doesn't have to be so fucking ridiculous to the point of, like, I want to punch myself in the face and
I would have thought
out the window.
Just having the set the system like normal, and then having the parental, like you, a parent, puts in parental settings and sets your own PIN code. Surely that's the easiest way of doing it.
I had to do that. Also. That was part of the process. It was in, oh my god, it was the
God damn it.
thing. So that was my week. I spent the entire weekend setting up my kids' DS account. That was what my weekend was.
Wow.
That's the stuff.
God. Yeah, well, I've been, well, as I say, ill and working. Also watching. Have you ever seen the TV show Arrow?
Arrow is very good. That's the thing. There's a lot of good superhero TV shows on right now. I'm not very far into Arrow. We're still, I think, in the first season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Arrow is brilliant. I mean, halfway through the second season now. I preferred the first season, I have to admit, but it's still really good. And I think I prefer the character, the Green Arrow, because if people watching don't know, Arrow is based off the DC character. It is Green Arrow, isn't it? Have I just made that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's called the Green Arrow. Good. Yeah, they never actually called him. They never actually called him that in the show. It's kind of like Smallville. They never call Superman.
I hate that because that's what they're doing in Flash. Also, like they just, I don't know why they don't want to call a character the name. I don't know. Maybe it's just like coming of age thing. Like they've got to go through the process before they're.
Yeah, I kind of like it because I think it's better than going, hi, I run really fast. I can call myself the Flash, or I wear lots of green and I like to shoot bows and arrows. I'm the Green Arrow. I don't know. I just think that's kind of cheesy, but yeah, I think I prefer Green Arrow to Batman. Just throwing it out there, because
the character or the TV show.
The character now. I never really knew about the Green Arrow. I only knew him sort of slightly from Smallville because he's in a few episodes of that. Different actor and stuff, but they have the character in it. But
the actor of the Green Arrow is really good. I like him. He's
really good. Yeah. But yeah, I just really like it. I think he's a really cool character. I kind of prefer him to Batman in a way, because I think I prefer the fact that he uses bows and arrows. And he's in the first season especially, he's really more badass compared to Batman. I mean, Batman is obviously a badass. Everyone knows this, but Batman's always very much like you can't kill anyone and stuff, and it's really hammered in. But in the Green Arrow in the first season, he's just like killing people and beating people up really left and
right. A lot of
I love it.
There's some other really good superhero shows now too. Have you watched Gotham at all?
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
Gotham has gotten really good. So the first few episodes, it seemed like it was just, I don't know, it started off slow, but I think it's really picking up steam. Like there's some really cool twists. The actor, I forget his name, who plays Penguin / Cobblepot, is really, really great. Like he puts a completely different spin on the Penguin character, and he seems a lot more. It's almost like he's almost vulnerable, but he's also seemingly like he's got still things like in control, but he's very manipulative and he sets so much stuff up, and it's so cool. The Riddler. When the show starts, so it starts. I don't know if you know the premise. It starts really early on. Like it follows. It begins with the Waynes getting murdered, and then so it picks up after that. And so the Riddler's character is actually working on the police force at the time. So he's actually at this point in time, I guess, a good guy. And you kind of follow the eventual Commissioner Gordon. He's kind of the star of the TV show, and you follow him as he kind of goes in, and he's trying to find Bruce Wayne's his parents' killer, and that was kind of where everything's based off of. But he's having to deal with all these like mobsters and work in between there and trying to figure out, like, because he's very by the books and he's trying to learn. His partner is trying to teach him that you got to kind of play the game to get in. Inside and do and make progress, but he refuses to do that, and so he's always getting himself in trouble and stuff. It's really good and good, and I really like that show. If you haven't seen it, I definitely suggest.
I think I'll catch up on that. I've heard mixed things about it. I said some people say it's not great, other people say it's really good. So I'll take your advice and I'll take the plunge. But I think. Oh yeah. Also, I've watched The Legend of Korra. Well, most of it, the first 2 seasons, I think it is, I've seen, and I think that's brilliant. I love it. I prefer Legend of Aang or Last Airbender, whatever. The first one, which was just, but it's still probably one of my favourite TV shows I've actually ever seen. I just love that show so much. Also, I don't know if anyone can actually tell, doing a bit of Movember this year. Yeah, look at that, nice. Last time I did it, which was a couple of years ago, I did a handlebar moustache type thing, and kind of looks a bit like a cowboy or a gay cowboy.
I would say a gay cowboy. That's how I was going to go.
Nice, thank you, gay cowboy. I had a request from a friend not to do the handlebar moustache and to look like a dodgy uncle or a paedophile. So I'm trying my best, and there you go. And he can't need a knitted.
Like a pedophile for a long time, Graham.
Brilliant. Thanks. Also, one other thing which might be kind of exciting for you, Chris. I have bought, and I'm waiting for it to arrive, your Christmas/birthday present.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to say what.
Saga.
Yeah, no, don't get excited for that then.
If it's anything less than that, I'm going to be disappointed.
Okay, you're going to be disappointed then. I apologise. Hopefully it's sexy enough for you. I'm not going to say anything more. It's a very sexy gift. Jamie probably won't be too happy with it, actually. Kind of slightly erotic, but it's not gay. Just tell you that much. It's not gay. It's not a joke present as well. I think you will like it.
I still think buying another man any sort of gift that's going to give him sexual pleasure, that's still gay, Graham. I think that's still gay.
Hey, I'm not going to be in the room when you use it, okay? Or not use it, whatever you meant to do with it. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But yeah, but I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to say anything more. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, when it gets closer to Christmas and you get to open it, you can do it live on the show, maybe, or
should I give like a live demonstration on the show?
Yeah, just take your pants off and we'll have an hour and a half of good, clean fun. Yeah, or you can
be lasting an hour and a half.
Open it at Christmas in front of your kids and see what happens. But okay, yeah. Hopefully I got you excited for it. It's going to hopefully turn up at some point. As soon as I get it, I'm going to ship it to you. Nicely wrapped and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Just pre-warning you.
Oh man, you are crazy. All right. Let's do some news now. You want to do that, Graham? And oh man, I think Graham has frozen. It's so much like Graham to bring up this incredibly awkward segment and then just completely get frozen and booted off the show and leave me here alone. That's great. So he just messaged me. Oh man, his PC crashed. So he's probably going to have to reboot. But while he's doing that, let me see. I'm just telling him to hurry up and come back in. Okay. So let's go and get into the news now. This is crazy because this past week, I'm sure you know, if you're a SEGA fan, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric and Shattered Crystal released on the Wii U and the 3DS, and then also Valkyria Chronicles released on PC. Unfortunately, man, Sonic Boom has not been getting very good reviews. Currently, Rise of Lyric, that's the Wii U version, has a 39 Metacritic score. GameSpot gave it a 20 out of 100, and they had this to say, somewhere along the line, SEGA lost sight of what makes the series work. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric has a laundry list of problems, and not just problems inherent to the modern Sonic franchise, but failings of basic design. Game Informer, they gave it a 40, so they thought it was a little bit better than GameSpot did. They had this to say, I was initially excited when SEGA first announced that Big Red Button would be developing Sonic Boom. I thought SEGA handing the iconic license over to a new developer might shake Sonic loose of the slump he's endured via a string of rough Sonic team titles. Unfortunately for fans and the Hedgehog himself, Sonic Boom is a blemished bore. That is tough. We'll go into Shattered Crystal's Metacritic stuff, and then we'll go back and talk about Rise of Lyric, because I do have that game. I have been playing it, so I can talk a little bit about my experiences with the game so far. So Shattered Crystal, up to this point, has a little bit better of a Metacritic score. It has a 40, so it's 1 point higher. It's not all that better, I guess. So IGN gave it a 40, and it said, with a heaping helping of poorly written and unskippable cutscenes, Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal is a slog that never finds its footing. Slant Magazine says, the sorry story segments largely amount to random combinations of the four main characters trading bad jokes, such as running the differences between who and whom into the ground. And Graham messaged me one more time. Okay, Graham, he's telling me just stuff that doesn't matter. So, okay, while we're waiting for Graham, let's go back. We'll talk a little bit about my experiences with Rise of Lyric so far. It is definitely not one of my favorite Sonic games. I was like some of these people who were talking, I was really excited about it because, like they said, I thought giving the Sonic franchise over to a Western developer would kind of give it a shot in the arm, the series, which I thought the series needed for a while now. I think Sonic Team, its last few entries in the Sonic series just were a little bland and boring outside of Sonic Generations. And honestly, I didn't think Lost World was that bad. I didn't think it was nearly as bad as a lot of people made it out to be. But playing Rise of Lyric, I felt it was way more unpolished and looked a lot, at least visually, looked worse than Lost World in a lot of ways. The characters themselves, I really liked the characters. I know a lot of people were really upset initially about the changes that Sega and Big Red Button made of the characters, but after playing the game and seeing them in action and just seeing them kind of in some of the cutscenes and them interact, I really liked it. And I think Knuckles is really great. It makes a lot of sense having him big and bulky, and he's kind of stupid too, which is kind of funny to see that take on the character. He's kind of dumb, but he's also really funny, and he was actually one of my favorite characters in the game. I really liked him, and Eggman was really good too. Initially, I really like that character. So going into the game, it starts off really, really slow. So you play through like an initial scene where you kind of understand, or it lays the groundwork for the story and everything. And then one of the first main sequences that you get to is like a mining area, and you have to go in, and this is where you first start learning of Lyric, and Sonic accidentally unleashes Lyric and everything. And I really thought that whole segment with the mining area was just really slow. It just was a really bad area, because one of the things, it's just a very large area that you have to explore, and there's just not a lot around that. I mean, there's just a few characters that you'll see, but when you go and interact with them, all they say is like, I don't have time to talk to you right now, or I'm busy, and they're just standing around. They're obviously not doing anything. And Graham keeps messaging me, so let's see what Graham's saying. All right, he says he's coming back in. We'll see what happens. And it was really hard for me to get into that. Are you back, Graham?
Oh my god, bloody hell! Sorry, my laptop just crashed again. It's a piece of shit apparently. And I'm tempted to buy a really cheap one just so I can do the Nerdcast now.
So I'm going in and I'm talking to the audience about Rise of Lyric and about what I've thought about the game so far.
Okay, cool.
And I was saying that after you get through the first sequence of the game, the first big area you really start to explore is like a mining area. And I was just really bored with that whole area. I thought it's spread out. There's a big area that you can go and explore, but there's just not a lot in that you can really interact with. It just seems very barren and boring. But once you kind of get through that and get into the meat of the story, I thought the game kind of opened up a little bit and kind of found its groove, and I thought it started playing a little bit better. But I'm about maybe a fourth of the way through the game so far. I think I've got about like 25 to 30% completed on the game. And I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of people out there are saying that it is. It's definitely not one of the better Sonic games that I've played in recent years. I enjoyed Sonic Lost World more than I have with Rise of Lyric. But I still think it's an okay game. The problem is just that as I was going through the game, I just didn't really find myself having a lot of fun with it. It just a lot of times I didn't really feel like it was a Sonic game, and that's what a lot of people were worried about. And there's certain segments where you're running through like loops and everything like that, and that's more of like the traditional Sonic experience. But even those felt different and felt a little off. So I still need to play the game a little bit more, but I don't think it's as bad as like a 39.
Okay.
But I don't know. It up to this point, it's not that much better. I can see why people are really upset with it.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing. I feel really bad for the guys over at Big Red Button because I know. Stephen Frost was very passionate about the game. He was the producer, and so it's kind of a bummer to see the game getting the scores that it has been, because I know that he was very passionate about the game. I know he really cared about the game. There's been some recent rumors going around that they lost quite a bit of people, some key developers and key people on the team later in the development cycle at Big Red Button. There's been a couple people on Twitter posting some stuff up, and I've been following a little bit, but I decided not to cover that on the site just because there's two people I wasn't that familiar with, and I didn't see any really concrete evidence to suggest that people were really leaving, so I decided not to do anything with it. But if it comes out to be true, it'll be interesting to find out like why these people ended up leaving, and if it was because that they just didn't have confidence in the game and wanted to kind of go on to a different project and just kind of walk away from this. And it's going to also be interesting to see what happens to Big Red Button after this, like what they are going to do if Sega decides to continue working with them, or if they decide to go in a different direction and Big Red Button is able to find a new franchise to develop. So.
Yeah, Sega doesn't actually own Big Red Button, do they?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Have you played much of the?
I don't think so. Maybe they do.
I'm just gonna quickly Wikipedia them and see what that says.
I don't know. That's interesting because Stephen Frost does work with Sega. He was the producer of the game. So I don't know. Maybe they do. Now just playing the demo for the 3DS version, Shattered Crystal, I thought that played a lot better than Rise of Lyric on the Wii U version. Sega, I'm still waiting on my my review copy from Sega. They were supposed to send it out on Tuesday, and for some reason I haven't got it yet. Steven has got his review copy of the Wii U version. I'm still waiting on mine. So all I've been able to play so far is the demo, which we talked about last week. But based on what I played of the demo, compared to based on what I've played of the Rise of Lyric, I think it seems more of a fun game than Rise of Lyric. Graham, I know you and I wish you were on last week because we could have discussed it. But you really did not like the demo for Shattered Crystal, is that right?
This is as literally just going off the demo. I haven't played the full game. I'm actually going to go out and buy the full game now, Chris. I've decided because I want to actually play the full game and maybe talk about it on the show. But I don't have a Wii U, so I've only got the 3DS. But I played the demo of the 3DS game, and I honestly think it's one of the worst Sonic games I've ever played in my life. I would rate it down with Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic Rush 2, which are my two worst Sonic games. And before anyone asks, Sonic 06, not a great Sonic game, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I had fun with it. Wasn't great, but I had fun with it. These other games I haven't had any fun with. And the demo was just so boring. It wasn't fun. Like they had this sort of standard like 2D style Sonic level, and it didn't feel like Sonic. They could put any character in that game, and it would have been like the same, and it just wasn't fun. Like it was the exploration.
One of the things I said last week, Graham, was that I didn't feel that there was a need in the game for a spin dash. I felt like they had to put it in there because it was what Sonic does. But there's this basically a sprint button that you could just hold, and he'll just go fast, and it completely negates the importance of the spin dash.
Yeah,
I don't know if you felt the same thing.
I felt the same. I in the 3D Sonic games, I can completely understand the whole lock-on, target attack function. You double jump and you sort of basically lock-on attack. In the 2D Sonic games, I hate it. It's like they've taken away, because the original Sonic games were brilliant. You didn't need the lock-on attack. You had you could bounce off enemies and stuff. It was all down to skill. Now it's just like press a button, press it again, you kill the enemy. The enemies are pointless basically. They're all really easy to kill. Some of them you can just spin dash through or just dash through. The level design was just poor. It wasn't fun. The whole catapult thing, I just didn't enjoy that. I know they got to get the touchscreen thing in somehow in these games these days, but that wasn't fun. The other levels as well. They had the level where it was like you're basically on a rail going through that cave type place, and you got to move from side to side. That was I felt like I was playing a shit phone game. I felt like I'm playing an iPhone game. There's basically move left, move right, move left, move right. That's what I was doing for that whole level. And I was just like, this is meant to be I know it's a handheld still, but the 3DS is actually a powerful little device. And the thing with games on phones, most of the reason why they're simple is because you don't have buttons that you have to swipe the screen, because that makes it easy to play. People don't like having the virtual buttons on phones and stuff, which is fine. But you've got a console which has buttons, and I was just playing this level going, this is terrible. It was, and I didn't die once throughout the whole. There's 3 levels in the demo. I didn't die once, and I was just like, this is terrible. I don't want to die in the games all the time, but there's no challenge in any of the levels.
Going back to the thing that you said you didn't die, that's another issue in Rise of Lyric, because it's different than in traditional Sonic games where if you get hit you lose all your rings, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in Rise of Lyric, what happens is you have a ring cap of 100 rings. You can collect up to 100 rings. Anywhere you collect past that, you can't collect any more. If you get hit, you lose, I think it's 10 rings. So you get hit once, you go down to 90. So essentially, I'm pretty sure it's 10 rings. It may be something around there. But, so you could get hit about 10 times or so before you even die. And there's so many rings found throughout the game that you really don't have to worry about ever dying. And
yeah,
you can get you can raise your ring cap if you register your 3DS version. So if you buy both versions, you can then raise your level or your ring cap. So
ridiculous. And also, sorry, I just remembered, on the 2D sort of style Sonic level like normal level on the 3DS game. I don't know if you ever did it, but you know that dash function we were talking about, where you can just run and really sprint, and you can use that in mid-air and stuff. There's sections where you meant to use that new start. You know that I can't. It's like an energy beam thing where they should swing on stuff.
Beam is what they call it.
Yeah. So you can use that and to swing across platform stuff. There's a whole section where you've got loads of them to do. And I did it once and then just did the speed dash thing in midair and got past the whole thing. Like, you don't need to swing into it at all. There's loads of sections where you can just double jump, double jump, and then do the dash thing in midair and just get past all these obstacles. Yeah. The mechanics of the game are just flawed. It's not. I'm sorry. I
thought that there was some neat platforming elements in the 3DS version. Like, I liked doing that. I thought that it was fun because you have a double jump with Sonic. I think, yeah, he can double jump, and then he can do the dash in midair. Combining that with the inner beam, I thought that there was some really neat, scenarios that you can have with that, and I had some fun with that. I thought that some of the platforming was really good in the game, so I had some fun with that. I was going to say something about, apparently in Rise of Lyric, there's a glitch. And I haven't seen it done yet. I've seen some videos going around, but there's a glitch in the game where you can finish the game in like under an hour, just basically being able to skip through stuff. Apparently, so they're gonna have to patch this. There's some issues with the game, and so it's interesting because most games these days have a day one patch where they find bugs throughout towards the end of the process and they will fix them. Rise of Lyric, there was videos of it coming out a few days before the actual release date, and they weren't very good. There was a lot of glitches and just a lot of other stuff that people were sharing, and it made the game look really bad. But it's interesting because there wasn't a day one patch coming out from SEGA or Big Red Button fixing some of these issues, and so it's going to be interesting to see when and if they release a patch to address some of these issues, and if they correct some of the issues and problems that people have with the game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go from here. But yeah, man, it's gonna. I don't know. The sales charts will come out for the UK tomorrow, or if you're listening to this when it comes out, it's actually gonna be today. So we'll see how it did in the UK. We won't know officially back here in the States, but I don't think it's gonna be very good, to be honest with you. It's kind of a bummer.
So I've just pulled out my 3DS because I literally forgot what the other level was. Because as I say in the demo, there's 3 levels you play, and I literally forgot what the other one was. It's the race against sticks, yeah. And that was just—it's just boring. I just didn't enjoy it. It's like, what the hell's happened to Sonic, man?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to get the full game. I'm actually going to go and buy it. So I'm going to give Sega some money for this game, and then I'm going to see, because I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. It's actually one of the key things I wanted to bring up about the demo. I didn't want to just rant about it. Demos are meant to make you enjoy the game, like entice you to buy the game, and then to give you some enjoyment that makes you think, man, I really want to get this. And if the game turns out to be better than this demo, then I'm like, what the hell's going on, Sega? Because it's bullshit what you've just done, basically. But if the game turns out to be terrible as well, then guess that sort of balances out. Because I've seen that before. I've seen it in the past, like with Driver San Francisco. Was it Driver San Francisco? Yeah, I think it is. It was the last Driver game that was released. The demo was not much fun, and lots of people said this. The demo was terrible. The game turns out to be a surprisingly enjoyable game. It's like actually brilliant. So yeah, it's like I just really hope Sega hasn't done the thing of making a demo terribly, and then the game's actually quite good. Although judging from the review scores, I think the game's not going to be that good from what I've read. But yeah, that was one of the key things I wanted to bring up about the demo. You've got to make your demos fun, guys.
Yeah, and then so I think Sega knew that there was some problems with this game, and I think they knew it wasn't going to review very well because they didn't actually give out review copies to publications until the day of the release. I think it was it released on, was it the 8th? When did it release?
I can't remember now.
No, oh shit. The 11th, I think. I think it was the 11th that it released. But so they didn't actually send out review copies until the day of release, which is Typically, Sega has done that in the past. It's not surprising that they've done that, but for the bigger publications, they will send the games out beforehand. That way, they can get reviews the day of release. They usually have a day of release embargo for most of their games that they send out. So it was kind of telling that Sega knew that there was going to be some issues with Sonic Boom because they didn't send out review copies until the day of. So that means that if they didn't even mail out review copies until the day of release, it was going to take at least 1 or 2 days before the mail even got to reviewers, and then they actually got to play the game. And it takes at least a day or two to be able to play a game and then write the review. So you're not looking at getting a review up until later in the week, realistically. So what a lot of these bigger sites ended up having to do is go out and buy the game on launch day themselves.
Yeah.
And then go out and play it. So I think it shows that Sega knew that there was going to be some issues with the game, and they wanted to kind of skirt around some of the negative reviews and just kind of let them go and hope that no publicity in this case would be good publicity, and that people would just kind of go out and buy the game on the Sonic name alone, and then you'd have some of the reviews come out later on. So
yeah. I mean, this makes me want to throw out a question to you, but I don't know if it's going to make us talk about it for a lot longer. I mean, do you want me to do it? Do we throw out a question to you?
Sure, throw it.
Okay. I mean, I know Sega computer games cost so much money to make these days, it's ridiculous, and Sega needs to recuperate some of that money. But in a way, every time Sega's released a shitty Sonic game, which, let's face it, they have done in the past quite a few times now, it really damages the reputation of both Sega and Sonic, to the point where lots of people are now getting dubious about buying Sonic games. I mean, they had some redeeming games like Sonic Colors, actually surprisingly brilliant, but so many times people have gone, oh, a new Sonic game, is it going to be good? Is it going to be good? No, it's terrible. Oh my god, I hate it. And it never lives up to anyone's even if the game's generally good, it never lives up to the expectations.
Well, I think now people, when they announce a new Sonic game, people expect it to be shitty.
Yeah, okay, but that's the thing. Would it actually be better if Sega did know this game wasn't up to the quality that fans would expect? Would it actually have been better if they held it off, tried to make it better, or cancelled it and just tried to move on to making a better Sonic game?
No, because here's the thing. I think Sonic Boom was all about building the Sonic Boom brand. They had the video games. Realistically, this is almost like a licensed game, because one of the big things is about the TV show, Sonic Boom TV show. They had such a huge marketing push going into this release. They had the video game, they have the TV show, they have the comic book, they have all the merchandise that you can buy. This was huge for Sega. So even if the game doesn't necessarily isn't up to the quality that a lot of people would expect, I think it's still going to sell reasonably well based on the cartoon, which is actually really successful up to this point at least, and just the popularity of Sonic. I think it's going to be that. I don't think that there was any option, even if it was completely terrible, even if it was way worse than what we got in the final product, I don't think Sega could have ever canceled this game. There was too much riding on Sonic Boom to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
I completely get what you're saying, and I know why Sega did release it, but I think Sega just keep damaging their reputation and Sonic's reputation.
Absolutely, they are. Yes, that is absolutely true.
As you say, people are now expecting Sonic games to be terrible. Like back in the day, though, like Sonic 1, the Mega Drive games or Genesis games, people were just like, oh my god, it's a new Sonic game, and it turned out to be brilliant, and everyone's like so excited. Dreamcast games as well. The Sonic games on Dreamcast were really good fun. And then suddenly just all went downhill, and like now everyone expects them to be terrible. It's just it's a massive shame. I wish Sega would just like put more thought into these things sometimes. But, oh well. Oh, that's a little mini rant.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like obviously Sega's not going out intentionally trying to make shitty games. It's hard to make good video games. It's not. I mean, if there's a formula out there to make a great video game, I think everyone would have that formula and use it. But there's no such thing out there, and I don't think it's nearly as easy as a lot of people expect. And just oh, this game's shit, and they just pass it off. But it's hard to make a video game.
It is. I do know this. I do understand it. And as I say, I don't think you can please everyone as well. Like, because Sonic, if you speak to Sonic fans, they've all got different ideas of what makes Sonic good. Some people say Sonic's good because it's fast. Some people say Sonic's good because it's platforming. Some people like, I don't know, just the level designs of the original Sonics, like because you could explore and stuff. And Sega keep trying to use those elements in their games, and they still can't please everyone. So even if some people love one of the Sonic games, not everyone's going to like it. But
we'll come back to Sonic in a minute, and it's going to be about maybe a new Sonic game. But let's really quickly talk about Valkyria Chronicles, because it released this or last week as well, and fortunately, it's been getting a lot better reviews than Sonic Boom. It currently has an 83 Metacritic score, but outside of the reviews, what's even more refreshing and uplifting is that it's been selling really, really well. It actually topped Steam's download charts the week of release, and that is very encouraging because, I mean, this is what, a 6-year-old game now, or like what, 4 to 6 years old at this point, and to see Sega bring it back and it sells so well, I think that really strengthens the Sega PC Ports campaign and shows Sega, like, hey, bring out these games and people will support it. This is exactly what Sega fans need to be doing if you want Sega to listen to you. This is the one and only most important thing. Pay with your wallets. That's how you vote. Vote with your wallet, and that's how they're going to that's how you're going to get their attention. It's not going to be through polls or email campaigns or whatever else. It's when they bring out a game and you want that game, you go and buy it, and everyone else buys it, and then they're going to keep continuing bringing out games like that. So I think this is very good for the Sega PC Ports campaign, and I'm really hopeful that Sega will continue to bring out other PC games. Maybe Vanquished. I would love for Condemned 2 Bloodshot.
Yes,
I want that to come back. And maybe we could get some that. I loved the online multiplayer in Condemned 2. It was so fun. I was so good at it too.
You were good.
Not very many people played it. Oh man, I love it.
Valkyria Chronicles, according to my European box, is 2008 it was released. So yeah, the game's, that's really old now. 6 years old? Wait, is that right?
It's about 6, well, depending on when it was released, but 5 to 6 years old, yeah.
Yeah, mine says 2008, so I'm guessing either 2008 or 2007 in Japan as well. So yeah, bloody hell. And on Valkyria Chronicle note, just to let everyone know, we are going to review the game, but it's taking ages for me to download it. I've literally been trying to download it all weekend. My internet is so slow and crappy. Like when it said like 5 days when I first started trying to download it, I'm like, what? And my internet keeps going up and down, and and my computer crashes obviously as well, so that doesn't help. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Hopefully it'll be
Graham, we got some Valkyria Chronicle codes to give away on the site. So since you are going to be the one reviewing the game, I'm going to leave it up to you.
Don't put this pressure on me, man.
I'm going to give. You don't have to announce it right now.
Okay.
But we've got to do a Valkyria Chronicles giveaway. We'll create it tomorrow, or it would be today when the podcast goes up. So start thinking about it and let me know, because we need to do a Valkyria Chronicles. Maybe people. Okay, here's an easy one. Ask people what the next Sega PC game or Sega game they want to see ported to the PC.
That's simple enough. Yeah, let's do that.
It's simple, and it's easy, and it'll provide some really interesting information. So if you want to win a code for Valkyria Chronicles, either tweet at us at Sega Nerds on our Facebook page. It's the Sega Nerds, or email us at seganerds@gmail.com and let us know what game you want to see ported to the PC next. So
cool, and we'll do a post tomorrow about it, so anyone can, with links.
You will do a post, my friend.
Oh man, I've got to do everything. I've got to think about things. Wait, you thought about it? Never mind.
So next up, going back to Sonic for a little bit. It was pretty crazy because it was brought up and discovered that Sega has registered a domain for Sonic Runners. This is a possible new Sonic game called Sonic Runners by the Sega Networks Corporation. And the thing is, I think Sega Networks, they're the ones that do a lot of their mobile games. So a lot of people are suggesting that this could be a new Sonic mobile game. I don't know what that could be. You would initially think Sonic Runners, it would be an endless runner game, but they already have that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
This is like a side-scrolling endless runner.
That could be cool. So apparently there was a Sonic Boom beta tester that was posting on a message board a while back, and he early on, before it was officially revealed, he said that Shadow and Metal Sonic was going to be included in Sonic Boom. So this kind of gives them some credibility. And later on, he then said that Sega was working on a new game that's going to be called Sonic Runners. That's basically all the information that we know about the game right now. So that sounds, I don't know, sounds pretty cool. Man, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, even though I was just sort of going on a bit of a rant about Sonic a moment ago, yeah, I'm always excited to hear about new Sonic games. I kind of hope it's not an endless runner though, simply because I just don't like endless runners. I know lots of people get it off from them. I mean, Sonic Dash, I actually do enjoy Sonic Dash, but I haven't played it that much because even though I enjoy it, I'm not into endless runners. So from a personal stance, I hope it's not an endless runner. But yeah, I'm excited to see what it's going to be.
Maybe a Sonic game where you walks the entire time.
That would be amazing. Imagine that. Sonic Walkers, Power Walk. Oh my god, Power Walking game with Sonic. Imagine that. It's
an exercise game for the elderly.
Yeah.
That would be great, and they could put in like every retirement home in America.
Yeah. I hope actually it's not going to be this. I know this, but like it's a Wii game or Wii U game where they use the Wii Fitboard and you have to run on the spot. Imagine that. Or a Kinect game. Go run like that.
God damn it, Graham.
That'd be so good, right? People get so fit off that. You got to run as fast as Sonic.
I think every story that we have this week to talk about is somewhat Sonic related. So moving on, Yuji Naka and his studio Probe, their next game is apparently happening now. Rodea the Sky Soldier. Ooh. This was initially a Wii game that was talked about late in the Wii's lifespan, but it got canceled at some point. But now it's been resurrected, and it's going to release in the spring on the Wii U and 3DS. It's called Rodea the Sky Soldier, and this is it's going to be co-developed by Probe and Katakawa Games. They're co-developing the game. Right now, it's about 85% done, which is pretty good because it's winter now. Got maybe about 4 or 5 months to go to finish the rest of the game. And what's going to be interesting is apparently they're going to package in a Wii version of the game in the Wii U version. So it's almost like when you buy a Blu-ray and it comes packaged with a DVD version that you never end up using. It just sits on your shelf. When would you ever need to use a DVD version? I'll tell you what. Okay, there is times. Because sometimes we'll buy a Blu-ray and we'll watch that at home, but then when we go on trips, we'll use the DVD and we'll put it in the car and let them play in the car. So maybe if we want the kids to bring the Wii on a road trip, they can play this. But no, the Rodea the Sky Soldier, there hasn't been any news on whether it's going to be released in the United States yet or not, or in Europe, right? Yeah. But there's been some screens of the game that's come out. Have you looked at any of the screens or any of the videos?
I saw a video which was of the cancelled Wii version. I saw that earlier, and I think it had some screenshots in the video, like of the new version at the start. It has a couple of screenshots. I was impressed and also confused by what I saw, because to me it almost looked kind of like a Knights style game.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you just said that. Because that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, you're like if you haven't seen the videos yet, anybody, you're like this guy. I guess he's called Rodeo, or whatever he's called, or is that the name of the world actually?
No, that's the main character, Rodea.
Okay, yeah. And you sort of fly through the air, kind of like Knights does. And in the video, he seems to be like locking onto things, and it does this. It seems to do this weird thing, like he sort of seems to jump around a little bit in the air, like sort of dances as he hits stuff, I guess. Did you notice that? Like the way he seems to jerk around, or not jerk, but move around. It's kind of suddenly he seems to lock on, then suddenly just move really quickly but it just looked a bit weird when he was doing it. But it was like it said it was a cancelled Wii version, so I don't know if that's going to be like what the Wii U version is at all, or.
I would imagine that. I think what ended up happening is they canceled the Wii version of the game and just decided that they're going to move development to the Wii U version. Because it's so late in the Wii's life span that I think that's what they ended up doing. And so I think the core gameplay that we've seen so far, I think it's still going to be somewhat, close to what the final game is going to be. Obviously, the graphics and some of the gameplay may be better. Frame rate, resolution, that kind of stuff is going to be better because we're moving into the Wii U. But I think a lot of that core gameplay is going to be the same. It looked a lot of fun to me. It really felt like a Knights game. That's exactly what I felt when I saw the game. I was like, man, this game looks so good. I thought it looked really great. It looked like a lot of fun.
Do you reckon? I couldn't tell from the video. Do you reckon it's actually on rails? But like how Knights is technically on rails. Like you can't fly anywhere in Knights. Do you reckon it's sort of like that, or do you reckon you could actually fly anywhere? Because I couldn't tell from the video.
It looked like it was. To me, I felt like it was on rails. Like you were following a path, and that's perfectly fine with me. I'm fine with that. Because I think that gives the developers a little bit more control on the gameplay and be able to make a better experience than just flying around and all sorts of kind of crazy shit could happen. But man, I'm really looking forward to this game. It looks so good. I've been wondering kind of like what Yuji Naka's been up to, because they've released a few mobile games, more recently, and
they did do a few Wii games.
I follow him on Facebook, and it just seems like he's going around with his kids, going and looking at race cars all the time. Like it seems like that's what he does. I'm like, fuck, Yuji Naka, go and make a video game, and so he has been. So he hasn't just been. Go around doing nothing. So that's good, and we'll see what ends up happening. Hopefully, this game could get a publisher for the West. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know. Do you think SEGA? Could you see SEGA publishing this game in the West?
Well, I guess because Yuji Naka used to be SEGA, basically. As soon as I saw it, I thought this looks so much like a SEGA game, and I really would love SEGA to publish it, because it just screams Sega at you. I know technically Sega hasn't made it, but I think I really wish Sega would go forwards and go, hey guys, we'd like to publish this game, because it looks really good. From what I've seen, it looks really good, and looks Sega. Also, here's the thing: when very first few screenshots I saw, I thought Skies of Arcadia. Because the world it's set in kind of reminds me of Skies of Arcadia, with the sort of floating islands. And then I saw the gameplay, I was like, Knights. And I was like, Knights and Skies of Arcadia mixed together.
Now, here's the thing. I was looking at it and knowing that it was a Wii game. I'm so happy that it was canceled for the Wii, because I guarantee what it would have been doing would have been using like the Wiimote motion controls for moving him around, and that would have been complete shit. Because I never enjoyed that in a Wii game, having to use your stupid Wiimote to move him around. Being able just to use a regular controller, whether it's the gamepad or the Wii U Controller Pro, I would much rather have that. Just give me a traditional analog stick to control them. I don't want to do any stupid motion controls. So I'm happy that the game got canceled and ported to the Wii U. I just hope someone, even if it's not Sega, comes in and publishes this game. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think, because I'm hoping to get a Wii U at some point, and this is definitely going to be a game I'm going to get.
So,
Yeah.
The last piece of news is just that the Sonic Amiibo is now available to pre-order. It looks like right now the only game it's going to be compatible with is Super Smash Brothers, but we'll have to see going forward if it's going to be used in any other game. It would be great to see Sonic added to maybe Mario Kart 8. That would be pretty damn cool. But we'll see. Right now you can go to Amazon and pre-order it for $12.99. And it is now scheduled to ship December 15th of 2015, but we anticipate that's going to be at some point before that. It would have to be when, I don't know, it's probably going to be early in 2015, I would imagine. That way you could use it actually in Super Smash Brothers when it releases. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. We'll continue to follow that story. We now, for the topic of the week, we want to talk about Sonic Boom, the TV show. Yeah. Graham, I know you watched all the episodes today. Binge watched.
Yep. I binge watched them. Which took all of like 20 minutes.
But somewhat good news is that it actually debuted to really great ratings. The very first episode last weekend, it rated, or it came in first among children 9 to 14 years old, and among boys 6 to 11 and 9 to 14 years old. Those are kind of the targeted demographics that they're going for. So it came in first, and year over year, Cartoon Network raised its ratings quite a bit. So it looks like Sonic Boom did really well in the ratings last week. We'll have to see what they do this week on Saturday. That was the second episode. I've seen all the episodes so far, Graham. I know you did too, but you watched them today. What are your thoughts on Sonic Boom?
Okay. Okay, here's the thing. It took me a couple of episodes to get it. The very first episode, I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Second episode, I was actually like, this is actually not too bad. And then third and fourth, I was like, I'm kind of enjoying this now. But I think the thing is, here's the thing. I think because it's aimed at sort of very young kids, like the humor's really basic. The stories, there's like no substance to stories really.
Right.
But once I got that, once I sort of kind of got it, I sort of started to enjoy it more. Especially the second episode, actually. Yeah, the first episode was like, they don't like this. I didn't really get it. And then the second episode was like, that's actually, there's a couple of bits I found kind of funny. And one thing I do like as well is the episodes are only like 12 minutes long. But I think that's actually quite good, because I reckon if I tried to watch longer episodes, I'd probably like kill myself. But I think it's also good for their target audience. It's short, it's good for young kids, especially. Like, kids have got no attention span at all, so like 10 minutes or whatever, perfect. And once I got into it, I was actually like, this is actually a pretty cool show. I'd like to see where they go though, because in my head I was expecting a cartoon series that the storyline progresses or something. This is what I thought was going to be in my head when they first announced it. Like, there's going to be a whole story, like, I don't know, Robotnik's up to something and he's doing something, and it progresses throughout the whole series or something. But so far it's just been very short episodes, which are all completely separate. Like, you could watch them in any order and it wouldn't really matter, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and that's basically what it is. There's no continuing storyline to it. But one of the things is, I've really fallen in love with Eggman in this series. I think he is completely stolen the show in almost like every episode. He's so good. He's so funny. He's just very lovable. Like, he's diabolical, but yet he still has so many like just redeeming. I wouldn't say redeeming qualities, but just he's just really funny, and he doesn't even seem like that. Like scary or like diabolical. Like, he's kind of funny. Like this past episode, he was sitting on a bench. There was like I think it was the second episode in Saturday's show, and there was a robotic fireman that was going around, basically had a blowtorch, and he was just like catching everything on fire. It was just funny, the irony in that of itself. Just a fireman who's catching everything on fire.
And he puts a cat up a tree rather than rescuing one.
That was so funny. And then he tried to act like it wasn't him who did it. He's like, "What? I don't make all the evil robots around here." But it obviously ended up being Eggman. It's so funny, just all that stuff. I think it's so great. My kids watched it. I remember I woke up about 6:45 on Saturday. Walked into the kids' room. I was like, "Hey, kids, Sonic Boom's coming on here in a minute," and they all jumped up, and they were like, "All right, let's go downstairs." My wife, meanwhile, was like, "You're an idiot. Why are you waking up this early?" But yeah, I went down and all the kids, and we watched it 7 o'clock Saturday morning. We all went down and watched the Sonic Boom, and it's such a good thing because I really enjoy having something like that with them. It's a cartoon. I really don't enjoy a lot of the cartoons they watch. They're really into Teen Titans. I just can't stand that show. But Sonic Boom is a fun thing because it's something that I can still relate to because it's Sonic and it really appeals to them. And I don't know. I think a lot of the humor is really funny. There's moments where I'm genuinely laughing. It's not humor that's only going to be geared towards like really young kids. It's just funny stuff, and I really have been enjoying it a lot. I'm really surprised by how much I've enjoyed it, and I think the animation's really well done. The voice acting, I think of the whole cast they're doing a really great job. And I hope that it keeps up because, man, they're doing a really good job, I think.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the ratings go this week. Hopefully it doesn't fall behind, but keeps pushing forward, and maybe it will become like a bigger Cartoon Network franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just one thing on Dr. Robotnik. Did he remind you of Gru from Despicable Me at all?
From what?
Gru from Despicable Me.
You know what? I haven't really watched Despicable Me.
Oh my god! Okay, that's literally what I thought as soon as I started watching the show. I was like, he's Gru. He's basically Gru because Gru is like a bad guy, but he's very lovable.
He's like the old man or whatever, right?
Yeah, and Robotnik almost looks like a similar shape to him now as well. It's because he's not short. You know, the robot used to be very fat.
Actually, he looks more muscular to me now. Like,
he looks more muscular than fat, and that's kind of. It's kind of seems to be the same shape as Gru, but I like Robotnik as well. Like we say, he is really good. I also really like Styx. I wasn't sure if I was going to like her, because where her voice when I first heard it, I was like, this is going to be one of those characters I'm going to find annoying. But I actually kind of found her really funny and really endearing. Like, cause she's literally insane. I think that's right. Like, I can't remember what she said. She said something to one of them about being paranoid or something, and then she looks at her shadow and goes, "Stop following me!" And then she's kind of really.
I think the first episode was Tails made this robot that it was funny because it somehow knew what the person was thinking and it would voice whatever that person thought.
Yeah.
So anything like anyone who was around that, it would just be like, he thinks you're ugly or something like that, or he thinks you're fat.
People would say something and then it would translate it. It was meant to translate like birds and stuff originally, but then I'd say, "Hi, Chris," or something, and then it would translate that into like, "I hate that guy. What's he doing here?" or something like that. And yeah, so it's translated what everyone was really trying to say, and it was really good. Yeah. Well, were you gonna go somewhere with that, or?
No, I don't even know where I was going with it, but yeah, I think. This week's episodes were really good. I think it built on the momentum that last week showed, and I'm really, man, it's nice to have a Sonic cartoon or animated show that I'm really into, and I can watch it with my kids. So we're really enjoying it, and we'll see what happens next week. So, Graham, unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna have time for what we've been playing.
What? Of course we do.
Well, I've already talked about Sonic Boom.
Okay.
You've only been playing Skyrim. You haven't played Valkyria Chronicles yet. So let's get to some of our contest winners now. We've had 2 giveaways going on this week. We've been giving a contest for Sonic Boom. We're giving away Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric and Shattered Crystal on the Wii U and 3DS. So, Graham, why don't you go ahead and announce the winners for those?
Sure thing. Actually, sorry, just to double check. I don't know if I've just done a cock up or something. Is it just because I've got one winner from Facebook and one winner from Twitter? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's it. That's okay. Good.
So Facebook I want to say Facebook is Shattered Crystal, and Twitter is Rise of Lyric.
Okay. Cool. Right. So on Facebook, the winner is Bethany Johnson. So way awesome.
All right. Congrats.
Woo, yeah. And on Twitter, it's should I give his Twitter handle or his real name? Because it actually came up with his real name when I clicked on it.
Just give his Twitter handle.
Okay, it's Okay, hopefully this isn't wrong, but at Chafos or Chaffos?
Chafos.
Chaffos.
It's like the first 3 letters of each of his names.
That makes sense now. God damn it. Oh, I'm such an idiot.
So congratulations. So Bethany, you win Shattered Crystal on the 3DS, and Chase Foss, you win Rise of Lyric on the Wii U. Congratulations. So we will message you, and we will get your mailing address, and we will send that out. Now, we also had another giveaway this week for Redux. Oh man, I'm knocking stuff around. So we have the limited edition and the regular edition of Redux.
Oh my God.
These are the Dreamcast shooter. I'm sure everyone out there listening knows about this. So we had a giveaway this week on Facebook, and Corbin Tyler Annis wins the special edition, and Stephen Caldwell wins the regular edition.
Woo!
And so we will also message you guys, and we'll get these games out to you. Man, we've got a lot more giveaways. So next week, or this week, we're going to be giving away some Steam codes for Valkyria Chronicles, and we have a couple other giveaways that we're going to be announcing also. It's crazy just how many giveaways have been happening this week.
It's exciting times. I love it. I love the giveaway season. Yay!
It's fun to give away some stuff. So anyway, I think it's going to wrap it up for this week. Man, we've got a lot of exciting things in the plans for Sega Nerds. A lot of stuff behind the scenes going on right now, guys.
Yeah.
We've got some pretty cool stuff that we're working on that we can't wait to share with you guys. But we're working on it right now. It's going to take some time to cook in the oven, and we'll announce it when it's ready. But yeah, if you want to, if you're not following us on Twitter already, it's at Sega Nerds. Facebook is facebook.com/TheSegaNerds. And the podcast, you can find it on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. And you can also just follow the RSS feed, which is going to be in the post on the website. So that's going to do it for this week. Graham, what is your last thought for the audience?
Yeah, the stuff. I get excited for the stuff that's coming up because it's really exciting, but it's not as sexy as the present that Chris is going to get.
Oh man, we'll have to see about that.
Yeah, and also thanks for watching.
We'll do a live unboxing on Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Oh, we need to provide batteries. I forgot about that.
All right, that is going to do it for the Sega Nerdcast episode 70. We are out. Take it easy.
See you later.